Shalawam. I'm your brother Yahawah from the branch of GMS, South Carolina Midlands. And before we start off, all praise, honor, and glory belongs to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, HaQadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well. And Shalawam unto you, hopeful elect, scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. To you I say Shalawam. Just a quick Intransit. Alright, a prime example on why 2/3 of the house of Israel will be destroyed here on this side. Alright, what you're seeing here on the screen is a NFL quarterback, who plays for the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams, and you can see off the rip, within the photo, this man got his damn nails painted, man, like a female. As you can see, the caption says, "Photo of Chicago Bears Caleb Williams are currently going viral." And it's going viral for the wrong reasons. All right, because this nigga, painting his nails like a damn female. And the next photo, got a damn flower in his head, looking all effeminate. Okay, and that's the spirit on a lot of men, right, out here in Babylon the Great. A lot of Israelites, they're sodomites. Okay, soft. Okay, and this type of energy, this type of wickedness is not going to enter into the kingdom. Okay, well, the scriptures refer to effeminate. All right, and that's going into being soft, which a lot of these Israelites are, man, including your so-called, supposed to be top athletes, that made it to the NFL, even within, NBA. All right, these entertainers, these so-called big names, household names, a lot of them is just harlots, sodomites for Esau, for the bag. Okay, and this is a part of the reason why the hopeful elect, us hopeful members of the elect, this is just part of many of the reasons why we sigh and cry to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Okay, let me get a scripture. Okay, because Jake is completely through, to say the least. All right, Jacob, Israel, 2/3 of the house of Israel specifically, all right, is completely through. All right, and we know why. We know why Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is about to bring so much judgment, okay, to this place. All right, to these niggas. All right, because you see now, he just got his nails painted. His energy is all flamboyant. All right, pretty soon, the next thing you'll probably see is doggone Jake, wearing a skirt or wearing a dress, and this is the reason why the Lord gonna rehabilitate these niggas by way of judgment, destruction. All right, this is Ezekiel 9:4, and it says, "And the Lord Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem," which Jerusalem is a people before it is a place. Okay, so the Lord got his angel on assignment. All right, this particular angel, an angel with a writer's inkhorn, to with a specific task to do what? It says, "Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark," that Hebrew word thawah, the spiritual mark of exemption from judgment, "upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." And this nigga painting his nails and being all flamboyant, and a lot of these Israelites, these damn athletes and these celebrities, they take it to that extent wearing dresses, all right, wearing skirts, man purses. You know, some of them, they just come straight out, come out openly, you know, sodomite. Okay, and that's a part of the abominations that we sigh and cry about, you know, and the angels putting a Yahawah, spiritual mark of exemption from judgment, on those men, on those hopeful elect members, because they're in the right spirit. Okay, it says, and to the others, the other angels, all right, the deaf angels, he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. So the Lord has tasked deaf angels to come after the ones who don't have the Yahawah. All right, the ones who's in, you know, this sodomite, worldly Edomite. All right, because really that's damn Edomite spirit on these Israelites out here. You know, some of them, they just, you know, go along with the agenda so that they can get the bag. You know, all those Israelites is going to be smitten by the angels of Yahawashi. And it says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children. All right, what is maids? Young women of marriageable age. Okay, and it says, and women. So it's going to be a lot of women that get deleted on this side. Okay, and a lot of you niggas' heads is about to roll as well. Okay, and the Lord has no respect of persons. Okay, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, the Yahawah, the mark of exemption from judgment. Okay, which that mark is spiritual. The mark in Revelation 13:16, that mark that the devil Esau Edom is about to implement. All right, that's a physical mark, the RFID micro C-hip, the charagma. Okay, but it says slay It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, the Yahawah, and begin at my sanctuary. So judgment is going to start at the Lord's house, as we'll get after this. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house, and that's going to start with, you know, Israelites as noted that Israel, starting with the false prophets, okay, you know, on down to their congregations. All right, on down to the, you know, the so-called leaders and the entertainers, all right, to the Pookies and the Ray Rays, man. Judgment is going to begin, you know, we'll read it. 1 Peter 4:17, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. You know, a lot of Israelites don't understand that we're in the time of judgment, the time of Jacob's trouble. We already see the beginning stages with this administration, man. Donald Trump is the man. As elder apostles, elder bishops, and brothers and elders have been bringing out, Donald Trump is that cruel Lord. The devil is about to come down with great wrath, man. You know, you not see that the devil, Esau, Edom, seeketh after our lives, being the people of the Lord, Israelites? Okay? For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High, and if it first begin at us, what then shall be the end of them that obey not the gospel? 2/3 gonna be destroyed. All right, these niggas is on the earth. They've been born in vain. And that the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? So the elect gonna make it, you know, through all these judgments. All right, by none other by Yahawashi and that destruction, okay, by the thermonuclear missiles that's going to pelt this place, America, Babylon the Great, by the skin of their teeth. All right, as missiles begin to fly, about to touch down, the elect getting beamed up. All right, but meanwhile, 2/3 is going to be left here. Okay, niggas like that, painted nails, flour in his head, doing anything that Esau Edom tells them to do, because they got these large contracts. They'll lose you know, Esau cut off the tap, their money, you know, start slandering their name, okay, turn them famous to infamous, okay, but not the elect. We can't be bought nor sold, okay, we can't be bought or paid for. All right, we serve Yahawashi. So let me get this last point, and I pray and hope that this is edifying through the spirit and the power of Yahawashi. You know, I seen this, you know, it just vexed my spirit. It's always a new celebrity, a new nigga, tap dancing for Esau, pushing his agenda. You know, because these top athletes and entertainers, this is what young Israelite, you know, sons and daughters look up to. And if they pushing that agenda because they selling out to Esau, Edom, all right, or they're just wicked, you know, the children is gonna follow suit, man. All right, they're impressionable. Okay, and that's why these niggas have to be destroyed. All right, so this is Second Esdras. I'm gonna get straight to the point. Second Esdras chapter 9. Yeah, Second Esdras chapter 9 and verse 20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril, dangers, all right, evils, because of the devices that were come into it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of a cluster. And that's speaking about the hopeful elect. And that's why in the book of Isaiah it says, you know, if the Lord have not left, you know, a remnant, okay, what's that, Isaiah 1:9, except the Lord Yahawashi of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, you elect out there. We should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. We will be destroyed. Okay, caught up in this up and coming destruction, you know, that the Lord is about to bring, his wrath, his indignation, his righteous anger. Okay, back in 2 Esdras 9 and 21, and I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people, being the elect. Let the multitude, 2/3 of the house of Israel, the majority of so-called Negro, Latino, Native American here, 2 out of every 3 that you see, gonna be destroyed. Let the multitude perish then. And where we get that number from? Zechariah 13 and 8. All right, on down to 9. Only the elect is gonna make it, the 1/3. It says, let the multitude perish then, which were born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. Okay, so the Lord has cultivated his elect. All right, and as for you 2/3, you know, you just made here to burn. Okay, simply put. So Lord will just edify to the elect of the house of Israel. And with that I say shalom, shalom to the hopeful elect.